love. But first of all, it's nearly Valentine's Day, the time for love and romance. Perhaps many couples going to be marking it this weekend, I'm sure. For many, it's time for chocolate, a way of showing your affection. Is there more to that than chocolate? Is there another message? Well, perhaps there is, or at least there has been over the centuries. Just to let you know, this coming report does contain some discussion of whether people prefer chocolate to some rather intimate adult stuff, if you know what I mean. Our reporter Hamish Marriott-Crosby asked Angus Kennedy, the editor of a magazine produced for the chocolate trade, if it had always had a romantic association.
Yes, it has, and it goes back right back to the days of Casanova, and even further back actually. But I found it very interesting. I discovered as we were going through some archives that Casanova actually had he made himself a drink that was made out of cocoa powder, a sort of sweet drink, which he used to take quite regularly, and he swore by it actually.
Did he swear by it as a how can I put it delicately, a performance enhancer?
Yes, I think he did, and nowadays, if you look at some of the modern sort of research they've done on chocolate, it kind of makes sense. It does have this effect that people kind of sort of swoon over it. And interestingly, there was another bit of research recently that said that 42% of women actually prefer chocolate to sex. I wonder what that figure is now. It's probably about 60.
Well, we rely on our listeners to answer that question, yeah. Angus. When it came into Europe, it was a luxury drink. I recall hearing about ladies of the French court, for example, that chocolate was the ultimate luxury.
Yes, I mean there was one of the Cadbury family was he was an explorer actually, and he used to go around the sort of jungle, and he noticed people drinking this strange concoction, but it didn't have sugar in it, and he brought that idea back, and obviously invented the Cadbury's chocolate drink, and that was back in obviously in the Victorian times. So. And then, from then on, obviously the rest is history. And, there's a lot of claims to who invented chocolate, but I think it's a fairly established claim would be that Fry's did actually, in 1847, invented the first moulded chocolate bar. But if you go around a lot of manufacturers, they all say, no, we did it. But I think Fry's is probably the real genuine story.
What intrigues me is that for a product which is associated with romance, with sex, let's be honest, with luxury living, that it should be promoted by Quaker families like that.
I know. It's interesting, isn't it? I think, if it wasn't for chocolate, half of us wouldn't exist, I don't think. I mean, I've got 4 children and we eat a lot of chocolate. I don't know if that's anything to go by, but...
In your research, though, Angus, you're a commentator on the chocolate trade.
Yeah.
Is the fact that it's now given as presents at Christmas, particularly, I mean, the supermarkets are piled high with tins of one sort or another, yeah. and associated with the romance, is it because it was once a luxury and therefore you are showing that expense is no consideration in giving presents?
Well, I think, chocolate is known as an affordable luxury, definitely. It's definitely a treat. I mean, it's very different from, going out and buying yourself a nice watch or a kitchen extension or, quite an expensive luxury. But it's one of those luxuries that we can afford. And interestingly, when the times get tough, the sales of chocolate actually go up. For example, in last year in the UK, the chocolate sales went up 3.1%, even though it's one of the worst sort of economic years in history. So, well, not the worst, but obviously there isn't a saying that the sales of chocolate do go up when the times get tough. But going back to the sort of romance side, yeah, it is one of those products. It's like chocolate, champagne, flowers. They have that kind of awe about them that they are a real genuine treat for people. And if you buy someone a nice box of chocolates, a good genuine box, there's nothing like sharing it together, and that's what I think Valentine's is all about. It's about sitting down together, sharing a moment.
So you're going to keep buying chocolate even if your income drops in the recession. We'll be returning to Angus Kennedy and chocolate as well, and Valentine's Day, as well as getting your views on its role in your life.